As a young girl, I always knew I wanted to do fashion design. I used to make clothes for my dolls. I used to stay up late designing outfits for myself and my friends. Now, I come from Los Angeles, and naturally, taking this love of fashion, I decided that I wanted to be a costume designer. I studied hard, and at a very young age, I was able to start working in the movie studios, working on some very cool projects. However, after a few years, the glamour started to wear off, and something was missing. I remember feeling like the entertainment industry had something more superficial about it, which unfortunately is aligned with some of the stereotypes. One aha moment I had was when I was driving in my car one day, and I was really, really stressed out. I was so stressed out, and then I realized the reason I was stressed out was because I was looking for the right color green pair of socks. Socks was the biggest stress of my day. As soon as I realized this, I stopped. I stopped my dream, and I took a step back. I needed to rethink my life. I took some time off, I traveled, I even did some freelance fashion design for a company that manufactured out of China and then distributed the products all over the world. I was offered a full-time job with this company. However, I didn't want to take it because I felt like going back into the fashion world would be the same slippery slope as going back into the costume design world. So I stopped. A few years later, I was in a very interesting place in my life. I was close to turning 30. I had broken up with a boyfriend, moved back in with my parents. Not the ideal position you want to be in. However, I realized that this was a very special place and time in my life when I could do anything I wanted. So, I decided to go to Ghana. In Ghana, I worked for a month and volunteered in the Volta region, specifically in Hohwe. There, I was working with children, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the people, I fell in love with the culture, and I fell in love with the textiles. Coming from my background, the rich West African textiles were a dream come true for me. I started working with seamstresses, and one specific seamstress and I designed a bag that I was going to bring back to the States as a souvenir for my sisters. As soon as I saw this bag created, it all hit me. This bag was beautiful, and it was the type of quality that I could see being sold in department stores in the United States. Previously, I had worked for a company that outsourced to China and sold in the United States. Why don't people tap into Ghana as a valuable resource for high-quality fashion production? So, I went for it. During my volunteer stay in Hohwe, I was staying up late at night, writing business plans, commissioned this seamstress to make 50 more bags, and I was going to bring them back. During this time as a volunteer, all the other volunteers thought I was a little crazy. Who would be making 50 additional bags, and I was not going out on the town having fun with them the way that other volunteers were. But for me, it all paid off. I went back to Los Angeles, went for 2 weeks up and down the hottest streets you would imagine with the coolest stores, Melrose Avenue, Montana, sold all the bags within 2 weeks. And it was then that I knew that I had to start Della. 2 months later, I came back to Ghana to start the business. Now, in starting the business, and actually in the business now, people often say to me, "Geez, Tina, congratulations, this is amazing, you make it look so easy." That's not always the case. So when I came back on the second trip to Ghana a few months later, we started working with co-ops of seamstresses and tailors to manufacture products that I was then gonna sell in the States. I linked up with a local businessman, and we went at it. After about a year, this was a good success. However, issues arose. After about a year, more orders were coming in. Quality control was going down, deadlines were not being met, and worst of all, I found out that these co-ops were not paying their seamstresses the money that they told me they were paying them. Worst of all, some of these seamstresses weren't even getting paid at all. This made me take a huge step back. How could I run a socially responsible business if the people I'm working with aren't even ethical? It was a big challenge for me, and I decided then and there to start our own factory in Hawaii. A lot of hard work. We started with 2 people in the back of a house, and now we have 30 full-time employees and an additional 40 part-time employees spread throughout the Volta region. Although I do have to admit to you, sometimes our employment count goes up or down every 9 months, depending upon maternity leave, because we do offer very good maternity leave to our seamstresses. On top of maternity leave, we offer other benefits. We offer Social Security, healthcare benefits, 2 times a week literacy courses, money management training, and we're also involved with other programs within the community. Another huge success for me is the relationship and the longevity of our seamstresses with our team. When I first started our facility almost 5 years ago, a very shy, soft-spoken woman came to our door. She was afraid to speak, and she said, "I came from one of the co-ops that you were working with. They've never paid me, and I need work." We hired her. 5 years later, she is one of our head seamstresses. She is not only able to support herself, but she's able to support her extended family as well through her work with us. Her name is Mama Christie. Mama Christie is just one of the success stories through our team, and together, I believe we've been able to pull off the impossible. For example, in 2012, we were doing our first ever massive clothing production for a large department store in America. This was very exciting, and we were working tirelessly around the clock trying to pull this off and get it done. There were deadlines, and if we did not make our customer happy, this was not going to work out. Well, the deadline came. We had 4 hours to ship our products from Hawaii to Accra and get them on the plane to be shipped out. We had another problem. There were 40 more dresses that needed to be made. What do we do? Well, on their own accord, the seamstresses came up to us and said, "We have an idea. We're going to get on that tro-tro with our butterfly sewing machines, and we are going to make those 40 dresses as we ride from Hawaii to Accra." They made it to the airport, and something I think that is even more impressive is the customs officers, who are usually extremely unfriendly, were so impressed by our team's dedication, they actually stayed open an extra hour to make sure that our products got on the plane. It's the hard work of our team that really makes it happen. Aside from our success in Ghana, we've had amazing success in the United States as well, also the worldwide market. We were the first ever African-made products to be on the shelves in the Apple Store. We had a year-long partnership, thank you. We had a year-long partnership with a shoe company called Vans that distributed thousands of shoes worldwide, handmade of our batik fabric, which we made in the Volta region. And something I'm very proud of is the inside of every shoe said handmade in Ghana. We currently have our own seasonal clothing line that we sell to over 100 stores worldwide. And to me, this is just the beginning. I'm currently here now, and we are expanding our factory, moving into a larger space in Hawaii. We are about to launch our first men's clothing collection. And this is just the beginning of where we're going, so I'm very excited. So this is my story. Thank you for listening. I invite you to rethink the way you shop with Della.